This is a Star Trek intro. We're watching the Corbomite maneuver in the Menagerie. Okay, continue your thought about Star Trek.
Oh yeah, so I think in the original series, like the median Next Generation alien is leaps and bounds better than the median TOS alien because most of the TOS aliens are just people. And I mean TNG was just people with silly things on their faces, but in TOS, you get like you get the Salt Vampire, you get the Horta, you get Baylock, you get the Gorn. Like when they or in the Tholians, when they really needed to come up with an alien and they had a budget for a costume or a wacky effect, I feel like they were a lot more memorable than their
So basically, what I'm taking from this
TNG
is the
equivalents.
is the thought that limitation breeds creativity.
Yeah, limitation
Yep.
breeds creativity, but yeah, basically.
Because
What else were good
they were
ones?
very limited. They had very
They're
little to
so
work with.
limited. You get so many good iconic aliens. You get the Tribbles, you get the Guardian of Forever.
You get the little dog in the dog costume.
Yeah. You get the Mugado.
Was that in TOS? I thought that was an animated series thing.
No, that was in TOS. He was stop motion.
I have no
They
memory of
had
this.
they had Sulu being like frozen to death on this planet and being
Okay, I
stalked by the
looked up a
Mugado.
picture. It's something for sure.
And they couldn't rescue him using the shuttle because they didn't have the set for the shuttle built yet, so they couldn't use it.
Good.
And of course, once they did get the
Shell.
shuttle set, it was built at like a third scale, so they really needed to make sure they didn't bonk their heads in it.
Oh, that's why in Strange New Worlds it's 3 times as big on the inside.
Well,
It's at full scale instead of third scale.
well, even if you look at the exterior shots, it was I think a third scale, and the people who built the shuttle actually just did it in exchange for being able to sell a model kit of the Enterprise.
Did anyone buy it?
Yeah, it was like one of the most successful pieces of
Oh,
TOS merchandise, and Paramount didn't really get any of the profits from it because they just traded it directly
they had a deal.
for the Constitution.
A
Yeah, but
contract is a contract is a
they
contract.
instead they just had to deal with all the lucrative dividends from the Spock helmet. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the Spock helmet. I don't remember where it's from in TOS or TAS, but I've definitely seen it. I've also seen it photoshopped on top of that scene in Strange New Worlds where they're talking about Spock wearing a hat.
They put it in lower decks because they put everything in lower decks. Like I could be put in lower decks.
Okay, so a more detailed intro because I didn't really do one. So we're watching the Corbomite maneuver, which is just the photonic cannon, the prequel, and the Menagerie, which is a clip show from the cage. And we get to see not exactly melty Pike, but just sort of old burned Pike.
Yeah, they
Crispy
put him in
Pike.
the yeah.
In the beep beep chair. Yep.
Correction, they actually put it in lower decks twice.
I remember the chair in the episode where they're taking the freaks to the farm. What was the
No.
other time?
Wait, they reused the chair?
Yeah, they use the chair in lower decks.
Aw, man. Oh yeah, they put everything in lower decks. I like the
Yeah,
guy who built the replica
They're on the
of the
ship with
chair.
the salamander babies. It's a whole thing. And there's a dog. Totally normal dog. 15 seconds. Everyone queue up Season 1, Episode 10. It's 10, right? Pretty sure it's 10. The Corbomite maneuver. Little baby Clint Howard. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I like how they got Clint Howard to host the roast of William Shatner as like grown-up drunk Baylock.
What? They
Yeah,
what?
they did.
In character as Baylock?
In character as like adult, like disgruntled Baylock who
Wait, I thought Baylock was already an adult and they're just a race of babies.
don't worry about it.
Okay. Yep, that's a nice Starfield Spock. I'm glad we're lingering on this shot. So Spock just scribbled something on that. Is it called a pad? He scribbled
Just with
something
one
on
D.
it, but when we got a shot of it on camera, there was clearly nothing on it. Spock's just keeping busy.
That little beep is something of an underwhelming sound effect. They're like, "Oh no, the death missile is heading right towards us," and it sounds like someone's
Beep.
calling you on Skype.
I'm surprised there's no music here with how much Spock is yelling. He seems very
Well,
emotional.
here it comes.
Oh, there's the music.
Yes. What's score? The sights and sounds of the series bring a tear to my jaded 45-year-old eyes. So
Watching
being
Hank's music.
they're being attacked by a voxel.
Yeah.
It's probably not the Borg.
Yeah, the
It
other
reminds
cube
me more of
spaceships are way
gelatin cubes
scarier.
that they eat.
Well, you see, that's the gelatin went
Oh,
rogue in the future.
this episode's gonna be about unhealthy eating habits. It's gonna
Like,
be a message about, health.
Oh, because it looks like the replicator food.
Yeah,
mm,
they have little plates of Baylock chips.
True.
Although I have to mention it, Uhura in gold is not right. I don't know why she's in
no,
gold. It's wrong.
it's black and white. People couldn't tell the difference between the colored costumes. They should have just
It's
made them all gray. But that
And
vision wasn't realized until Deep Space Nine.
well, probably I think majority of people were watching in black and white, but most broadcast in color.
Now I'm just thinking about how 60s this is. It's like I'm looking at that logo and I can see the aliasing.
Well, no, they remastered this. This
Well,
is the remastered
look at it.
version.
Well, I don't know if you can see it through but I can see the pixels. What resolution is this running at? It's
It's
1080p.
Yeah, this is digitally remastered. I like the like that is a 3D Enterprise. Look at that lighting. They
Ooh.
couldn't do that
Yeah, there is.
advanced texture mapping in 1965. The
I
computer
really
wasn't
want to
even
see the
invented
original
yet.
version of this because there's no way that they're actually reflecting light on the physical Enterprise. Oh God, why?
What?
Keep your shirt on, Kirk. My God.
Oh wow. So is there like a stagehand just pushing those boxes back?
Oh no, it's all Shatner. Dogs don't like the magical voices coming out of the weird tablet.
Who's a good boy? You want a treat? You want to go for a walk? Walk? Look, if you're not going to wear headphones, you have to accept this is going to happen.
Okay.
Are they not going to come for a walk? Well, hang on. Kirk just stood up and all the oil immediately disappeared off his body. Sorry, the sweat,
Wow.
not the oil.
You should just leave. It's like, oh man, I don't have time to change into my shirt before I go to the bridge to fight the space
He's
box.
shirtless on the bridge all the time anyway. Or with, like, ripped.
We all got to see the masterpiece of the human body that is William Shatner.
That's the first one. He's a doctor, not a... Yep, they look very alert.
They're very alert. That guy feeling up the wall, very alert.
Oh, that dude's doing some conductivity testing on the fire hydrant. Very important. Gotta make sure it's ready to go. This is something weird in TNG Season 1 especially too, where it's just... It's red alert, the music's super dramatic, everyone's freaking out, but they're just calmly walking around, just chill.
Yep.
Totally expressionless.
The 60s were a dangerous time with all the asbestos and stuff. They...
Hey guys.
Hey,
Um,
I'm not scared of the Jello, Spock.
He
Did Spock just make a joke? He can't do that.
does that all the time.
It's illegal.
Eh,
Wait, Kirk was freaking out about the shipping at Red Alert with him not there. Why did he go to his... Okay. He just went home.
hey, maybe
He did just go home.
He had his uniform with him.
Wait, did he go to the? Did he like go to his quarters to like take
I
a
think he
shower?
took a shower, yeah.
He's like, I'm too sweaty. I smell too stinky. I need my Old Spice before I can fight
Crew
the
wouldn't
space
take me
cube.
seriously like this.
you know, I was watching the 1960s version. It had they did a pretty good job. The cube looks just like that.
Shouldn't her actually be in like a yellow shirt? Like she doesn't do any like tactical or engineering jobs.
No, yellow is command in this.
Yeah, she's like she does. She's doing like a command job, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
I
but,
would think it's more operations, because it's like ship logistics stuff.
And you know something I realized watching this season is that
Oh my god, Scotty! Wait, is this his first appearance?
No, we saw him earlier.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I feel like he's like Uhura's communications officer is not necessarily there because of like the equipment is really complicated, but because she has knowledge of like xenology and like social science
I mean,
to
it can't be
manage
that part. Later they have
communications.
Worf doing it.
Eh,
Why do you
I-
think the other Enterprise thoughts like Worf was like sending mean text messages to the Borg during first contact, and because of that decision, everyone died?
so they couldn't do Nagilum in the 1960s, so they just did this thing. We have like a couple of Nagilums coming up.
Oh, good. Many Nagilums.
But speaking of ambiguous positions, so I realized Sulu's tactical officer, the guy sitting next to him, is navigator, or what we call helm. But later, Sulu's the famous helm officer.
No,
TOS has a
Sulu's
helm position and a navigator position.
Yeah, but
How
Sulu,
is that
I
a
think-
different job? How
Well,
is
The
helm different than
navigator
that?
plots the course. The helm just moves the ship along the course.
Wait, that makes sense.
Sure, but it feels like those could definitely be merged.
Do you think
True.
we'll one day see Mr. Bailey in Strange New Worlds? Do you think they'll bring back such an iconic character?
I don't know. I mean, we only got Lieutenant Kyle for like one episode.
Do you think we'll ever see the three-sided TV in Strange New Worlds?
No, it's impossible to
do you-
recreate.
Do you think we'll see Sulu's paper coffee cup in Strange New Worlds?
Yes. By the way, there will be Strange New World spoilers this stream, 100%. So if you haven't watched Strange New World Season 2, go away.
Ryan, I still haven't watched Strange New Worlds.
Well, I mean,
We see Scotty
we're
in
come
Are
on,
we
man. We're
talking
going
about-
into the Menagerie next.
We saw
We're
Scotty
going
the
to
first
talk
time.
about Strange New Worlds.
Well, like, is this pre-Strange New Worlds spoilers, or like is this just we know that in in the end something goes on with
The spoiler
Pike
ban for
and
Strange New World is absolutely lifted.
is it in this
It was
episode or
it
in
was lifted
the
last
stream in
week.
general?
It was lifted
In
last week
general.
on the stream.
Oh man,
Because Strange New World Season 2 is over.
It was announced 2 weeks ago, and it
I
was
gotta.
lifted last week.
I still haven't watched it. I've been very busy.
Well, stop
Okay,
being busy and get
I'm
busy with watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
I'll get
It's
to
really
it.
good.
I know it's really good. It's my favorite show. I just haven't watched it yet because I'm a longshoreman and
How's
the
it your
ships have
favorite
just
show?
been coming in nonstop, and I've been freaking. Look, the supply chain crisis hit us hard, and they're all backed up, and I'm just now really starting to meet my quota. And if I don't get these boats through, they're gonna pour me a pair of concrete shoes.
If you don't get the bolts,
The boats.
are they
So
self-sealing?
I didn't realize the
I have to do that
Metrons.
too.
The Metrons are the ones that put the Gorn and Kirk together in Arena.
And then they became arms dealers.
Yeah, the Metron Consortium.
The Metron Consortium.
I didn't realize that.
Yep,
And then they
it's
function like
definitely
the
spinning
Q.
Star Trek for sure.
They function like the Q basically, also along with Trelane.
Is Mr. Bailey scared? He looks very scared. He wouldn't be scared. He's a big, strong man. Wait, you can warp in reverse?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wait, no. They
For
can't warp
sure.
in reverse.
They're going backwards right now.
But
For sure.
they only boldly go forward because they can't find reverse.
Of course.
Maybe this is like they're going forward, but the camera is like pointing out the back.
Maybe. I need an exterior shot. I need context.
You're not gonna get an exterior shot. Well, actually we had one with the cube outside the Enterprise.
They're in the Willy Wonka tunnel.
It's more like a Rubik's Cube with all the colors.
Is it showing no sign of slowing? But it keeps going and it's going.
Oh, no, they are going reverse.
Wow. Everyone takes a little tumble.
Yeah, so firing a phaser at a superior being is not a great idea.
He's not superior. He's a little baby with a puppet.
It's a gelatin cube. They eat those things for breakfast, literally.
I was just
Turn back.
learning
No,
that
probe on ahead.
as per the blueprints, the turbolift should be right behind the captain's chair, but because dramatic actors always come from stage right, the turbolift has to be a little bit offset.
Like, is there ever a point in Star Trek where like this thing is crazy dangerous? Let's go home.
No.
No.
No, that's the problem with a lot of episodes where something is obviously going to kill them and they
Can
make
we
the
come
decision.
back with like 2 starships? Is the Lexington busy
Nope.
this time of week or
Nope. This is full Borg strategy, one ship at a time. If that ship blows up, you send one more ship.
I like
And you
this
just keep feeding ships into the anomaly until you run out.
it sounds like you're feeding starships to Anomaly, and then she started crying.
Yes. Oh, I remember.
Yeah, the shelter cats and the coyote.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some episode where they talk about like, oh, we've lost a dozen ships to this anomaly. The Enterprise is now being sent in to investigate. I don't remember what it was, but I swear at least one anomaly they lost a dozen ships to, sending them one at a time.
the Bermuda Triangle.
They had to send somebody with plot armor. If they wanted a good result,
you
they gotta
eating?
send some plot armor. I don't know what these are. They're like a little hexagon shaped wheat cracker.
No, I'm getting show audio through you.
Yeah, he muted. They did a really good job making the
Textbooks.
turbo look like it moves. Oh, something I saw in the Kirk Gorn episode, they do the shaky cam action.
We should call it the Corn episode, really.
Arena. I'm
Spelled
sorry.
like the band.
It's called Arena. I apologize.
They did the
Did
shaky
you-
cam earlier this episode too, right?
That episode about in Strange New World season 1 with the baby Gorn should have been called Children of the Gorn.
It's really funny how none of the other Star Trek shows touch the Gorn. It's
Well,
hard to outdo that costume.
it's hard to take the Gorn seriously when they look like the TOS version.
Yeah. But they had a formidable empire in the Dominion War. They showed the Gorn still had their little corner of the galaxy. They were not extinct.
Their empire expands very, very, very slowly.
Not in Strange New Worlds.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Green leaves. Women are trying to feed me salad. Oh, this subplot makes me want to die.
I think
I
later
feel
on they
so
say
weird about a Starfleet officer just putting a bib on Kirk and laying down his table. This is so weird. Kirk can feed himself.
the yeoman.
Like, even if her job is to deliver food, why does she have to put a napkin over his lap? What is
Yeah,
this?
Oh my God, Kirk!
Nope,
Eat
Kirk.
your
Oh,
fucking salad. Don't be such a
that's
baby.
that's the thing. The male captain, the captain of a ship, usually even gets a male yeoman to put his bib on for him.
Kirk, do you want to do something, or are you going to just take a shower? Maybe read a book?
I don't think Kirk reads books. I don't think he can read.
But there's
I think
books on the shelf right
no,
behind
those
him.
books behind him are like those decorative books that aren't actual books. They're just like book facades, and they're completely hollow, and they're all fused together. Kirk cannot read.
Sulu, you called Red Alert. There's nothing there. Oh my god. Is that another geometric shape?
This is the TOS action music.
I love this music.
Me too. Alexander Courage.
I thought it was a space quake. No, it's a tractor beam.
Do the hustle. Do 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 do.
No.
So I found this. I know we're not supposed to talk about other Star Trek channels,
Ooh.
Very
but
shiny.
I found this TOS channel that is about the music of each TOS episode and who directed it, the musical direction. It's very
How
interesting.
could you dedicate a whole channel to that? TOS has like 3 songs.
No, it had a pretty good original soundtrack. Score.
They made this thing way too big, and the size is entirely inconsistent in each depiction.
Wait, hang on. Bailey was freaking out because
It
it's
fills
so
the
far away and
screen.
it still fills the screen. He was literally zoomed in. Bailey, come on, man.
I think at this point, right, it was ambiguous whether it's a window or whether it's.
I think it's ambiguous whether crewman Riley's going to have a job after this.
I mean, you can't zoom a window, so it's pretty clear now.
You
I
can
mean,
zoom a
you
window. It's
can
called a
zoom-
telescope.
Yeah. So like they can magnify it, but it's actually just a window.
So you're saying that right outside on the bridge, on that little bulb on top of the saucer, there's this big telescopic lens that goes in and out?
Yes. Yes. There's
They
like
literally
it's
have
like
a
a really,
periscope?
really,
No,
really long hallway, and like there's a lens on a track that moves in and out.
look, it's like a two-way mirror. It's a
Hi,
screen
Baylock.
that shows information, but it's a window at the same time.
Oh, the first Federation. You're. Oh wait, no, this
So
isn't the
it's a head-up
Federation. The
display
Federation
then.
doesn't exist yet.
The Metrons do the same thing. They say you're
Yeah,
barbaric.
all aliens in TOS do the same thing.
Yeah, they're like, you're too barbaric. And you know what's funny
We're
though?
the big, scary, advanced space empire, and your little baby race. Go back to where you came from.
And that's literally Encounter at Farpoint TNG,
Yeah.
where Q puts humanity on trial, and here we have humanity on trial too. You've gone too far.
He's shooting.
You know, it's like TNG had a lot of parallels to first season of TOS.
Baylock shoots lightning out of his fingers at you over the phone.
Well, that was a good show, everyone.
Yep, good
Ship was
show. He's like, all right, I guess we turn around.
So
too
the term
dangerous.
Federation hasn't been used before this. The Enterprise is not part of the Federation. There is no Federation. Is this where?
Okay.
So they were thinking
Yeah,
like, oh, that was a cool word. We should use that more often.
they only deal with other Earth ships, is
I-
just stated.
The United States is a federated constitution, but the thing is that the Articles of Confederation, which preceded the Constitution, Confederation is looser than Federation,
Yeah, that's why we ditched the Articles of Confederation. They sucked ass. We couldn't collect taxes.
and we became a federation of states. And then we had another confederacy.
10 Earth time periods known as minutes. I mean,
How do they know this?
they scanned them, man. Don't worry about it. That does make canonically more sense than random alien cultures saying like, "Ah, we will talk in 1 hour," and then what kind
Yeah.
of hour?
Right. How's your solar hour different than solar day?
It does
different
sound
than
super awkward though. So yeah, it
Is
makes
that
sense
the
they
only
stopped doing that.
TOS character with a mustache in the background?
mine? So we'll
It's
talk in
Sam
1
Kirk,
million,
man. William
1
Shatner with a
million,
mustache.
Oh, of
One-
course.
1 million planks of a time. we should be able to speak that.
Plank times are a primitive human concept.
No, it's an objective thing.
We
That's the
here in
smallest
the
unit of
First
time.
Federation have found that plank times can be further subdivided with our advanced puppet science.
True. But
Why does everyone just stop moving?
because everyone's listening to the captain. It's a submarine. Everyone was doing their work, then they pause. USS stands for United States Ship normally.
It's the United Space Ship. Thank you.
And Starship. But you know something else I just learned? The original class of the Enterprise was not Constitution class. It
It's a
was
Starship
Starship
class.
class. And that's
Which
why
is
that
why
makes
it's United Space Ship. Because Starship is a specific class.
okay. But then that also makes sense why we're the
But
only
they call it
Starship.
the Federated Starship Enterprise.
But it makes sense then why they say several times we're the only starship in the sector or in the quadrant, because it's the only flagship class, which is Starship class, Constitution, and even Star Trek 4 has the plaque say Starship class.
It's the puppet.
No, that's
Ooh,
very
he's
wavy
got
puppet.
eyes. He's looking at you.
there's audience expectations going on here. Everybody thought Martians were like little green men. So hence you got not green, but it could be gray also. But the big eyes, the gray aliens.
That's a very
Clearly, Martians should be
looking
red
alien.
because Mars is red.
Very stereotypical alien, yeah.
Yeah, I mean for
He
what people
moves-
were expecting at the time.
He moves like Tom Servo.
Yeah. He does.
Also, so like in TOS, they have the Vaseline filter on women because like you can't have male camera operators looking closely at women. So like, how sexy do you think they thought Baylock was?
What? Don't think that's
Baylock, Puppet
why.
Baylock really reminds me of the Talos 4 aliens with their big bulbous heads, but like he's lost a lot of weight. He's like a gaunt version
I don't
of the
think so.
Talos aliens. Oh yeah, you're so fired.
I
Who
mean, he's
doesn't
kind of
feel
saying
relieved?
that's what the entire Russian army is thinking right now.
You think Bailey is like, oh man, I can't wait to go into space and meet aliens who are
Join Starfleet, they
friendly and
said.
yeah, join Starfleet. They said, explore the galaxy. They said.
Make peaceful contact.
You can break down in front of the captain one time, they said.
I vote we shoot Bailey.
You know,
We offer you a tribute. His name's Bailey.
there's a brilliant line in the Trillian episode when Kirk says that we're on a mission of peaceful exploration. Trillian says, "Is that the official line?" You know, so meaning, of course, we're here for archaeological looting.
Or it's not that bad. Calm down.
Is this the Corbomite maneuver?
The
Yeah.
reason why
Okay, okay.
they
So-
have her in a red uniform later is that she looks better in red.
Yeah, she does look better in red. But so here we have the Corbomite device, which is on all Starfleet vessels.
Oh, we're gonna have that child actor that was in Strange New Worlds as the chief medical
Yep.
officer on that base.
Mm-hmm.
Jim. Baylock, why do you gotta be so overdramatic about it?
He's
Just
like,
blow
our
them up
Earth
or go home.
customs require us to be quiet before we die, and now we gotta start all over again.
What if we ram the ship?
You know, later, Kirk tells Spock, maybe you'll be able to play chess so that you can beat me. It's like, how on earth would...
They're not on Earth.
Okay.
And Spock would find that remark insulting.
Okay, but how does Kirk beat Spock in chess, is what I'm trying to say.
He throws the chessboard at him.
No.
Spock lets Kirk win in the same way that Data let Troy win.
He shoves the queen up his nose, and Spock doesn't want to touch it, so he has a disadvantage.
It's one of our human rules, Mr. Spock. You wouldn't understand. You give people 4 minutes left to live, tell them they're about to be destroyed, and everyone gets so rude.
And by the way, he says...
Dr. McCoy replaced his nasal suppressant with water with saline solution, so the smell distracted him.
Sorry, the smell of what? Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk's. That's why he had to take a shower
Machines.
before he came onto the bridge.
So
Machines?
Spock uses nasal suppressant like T'Pol.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying he swapped his nasal suppressant with saline solution.
Checkers.
Checkers.
Go. Oh, poker. Not chess, Mr. Spock. Age of
Sid
Empires.
Meier's Civilization 5.
Because we smell.
Star Trek Armada for the Nintendo DS.
I like the ultimatum too. It says, "Get your arrangements in order with your deity of of choice. Q says that later. May whatever god you believe in have mercy on your souls.
Who, Q?
I
Why would
believe so.
Q have mercy on our souls?
No, he's like he's like shaking the Enterprise, and he tells Picard
that
and
was
company.
that was a joke about Q being the god we believe
Yeah,
in.
yeah, I got you. May whatever god you believe in. That was a good line.
It's like
The
if it's a
powerful I'm rubber, your glue defense.
yes.
Have the puppies in the general chat.
Do
If
they
it's
want to
like
go for a
an
walk?
So
wait, if it's of equal strength, why not just shoot the Enterprise with like the baby beam and see if
Well,
is-
every beam they
is
fire
he
is the
picking on
baby
them
beam.
just not knowing about the Klingon War or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because
they must have
it doesn't
no
make any
records
sense.
on what happens when Earth ships get attacked.
It's a new invention. Ever since the early days of last year.
ever since the early days of Tuesday. When one of your Earth days called Tuesday.
Spock, you don't have to proceed everything with Earth.
Just reminding the viewers.
Yes, once you are off shift, Captain, I will take my place in your Earth chair.
Breathing your Earth air.
So, just like Nigilum, we'd rather blow up the whole ship with everybody on it than be the plaything for some galactic cat.
Meow. Have you seen Cat's Paw?
We watched on stream, man. It was an episode.
Yeah. I've
And now you want to die with dignity?
finished my time in my crying chamber, sir.
In your Earth crying chambers.
In my Earth crying chamber. The padded room for crying.
You know, funny thing is, in the Bible, when God names the first man Adam, Adam
Who do they
means
need to
red.
replace the counter? This is a special effect.
Good point, but they had the CGI capability.
I'm not feeling very destroyed, Baylock. What's up?
Hey, look, he's like,
They have mechanical clocks
you
on,
coward.
on the Enterprise. You gotta replace them with
Digital.
computerized clocks.
he misunderstood. Is like, destroyed? I meant
Annoyed. Yes.
You're a droid, and I'm destroyed.
So in the Bible, when
It was a
God
pun,
names
Captain.
the first man Adam, and Adam in Hebrew means red or dirt, or earth, right? So actually, literally, when the thing was created, its name was Earthling because it was
No,
made from
actually, God named the first human Adam because it starts with A, and that's why the first woman was named Bethany.
Eve means wind, Hawa, and Earthling. So basically, Earthling is a better name for humans than human beings, because we're Earthling makes sense. I like Earthling actually.
I identify as a meat popsicle.
Ugly.
I'm an
Humans are more like
Ugly
meat
bags
Meat
donuts.
bag of
mostly
mostly water.
We're meat donuts, not meat popsicles.
I think one time I was really high on mushrooms, and I thought, yeah, all human beings are pretty ugly. We're a pretty ugly species.
Would it be better if we still had fur?
Yes.
A
Next
tail,
question.
a tail, I think would be an improvement. Actually, a fur doesn't matter so much.
A tail seems like it just be annoying when you're trying to sit.
If people had fur,
True,
we could
but
be naked all the time and we'd look more like Donkey Kong. Win-win.
if I'm cooking and I
No,
have
Ryan, the human tail attaches higher up than you think. It's like a
But it's
of the
gotta like go down.
mm, just kind of
It
hangs
was not
down and
a
then
trick.
stick out. It'll be okay.
Do you like wrap
Mr.
it around
Ryan.
your front and keep it on your lap when you're
we just
sitting?
we'd have a hole in the chair for your tail to go through.
But fucking, I ate like 20
Are
minutes
people born with
ago.
vestigial tails, right?
Yes,
I've
I'm
not
aware.
I've not heard
But
of that.
human vestigial tails are like 4 inches long. They're trash.
Yeah, I'm talking about a tail you could swing from a tree. I mean, we're kind of heavy for a tail to swing from a tree, but
A 180-pound human male swinging from a tree would require quite the tail.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be sick.
But when I'm cooking, I need to throw the cucumber tops in the garbage. Just use a tail
You know,
and keep
if we
chopping.
were still furry, we wouldn't have skin color wouldn't be an issue. It
Are
would be all
furry.
about fur color. I wouldn't have
True.
to tan.
True.
I mean, I don't tan, but I wouldn't have to be conscious of how pale I am.
True.
Oh, but you'd have to shampoo everywhere, and shampoo is the worst part. Takes
We
so
just lick
much longer. Then you'd have to dry. God, no, no, never mind. I don't want to be furry.
we just lick ourselves clean.
Gross.
I
We
mean,
get like we get like
Everyone's
6
bluffing
foot
everyone.
long. We'd have like anteater tongues too to make the cleaning easier.
oh god. Um.
And then everyone would be like me.
So something I didn't realize: Riley, who goes crazy and takes over the ship a few episodes ago, he
Which is not to be confused with Riley, who's a coward on the bridge right now.
That's
Different
Bailey,
guy.
isn't it?
right.
Oh, right, it's Bailey. God. I can't even remember his name. He's so worthless.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Irish names. He dies in a later episode, I believe. The Gorn episode, maybe, or is it
That's
the
what
one?
you get for trying to take over the ship.
Yeah. But this show ain't bad at all. Watching more of season 1. It's a pretty good show.
This episode has gone a whole like 30 minutes without being sexist. It's very impressive.
No, but
Mostly
here's
because there haven't been
They
women
had
on the
they
bridge.
had one early fit of it, but yeah.
something else unique about TOS is, it's really 45 minutes of plot. Like the TNG onward shows, they have like A plot and B plot going on, so they fill up a little more time easier. But here it's just we run into the thing again.
It's all A. But I like the B plots.
The plots are good, yeah.
I mean, television
Especially
wasn't
when
that
it's things like
advanced.
Data growing a beard
Yeah.
while the ship's blowing up around him.
It's just a little more tedious to watch because our attention spans are shit.
Well, I mean, look, do we really need 30 seconds of just the circles moving? This is the same shot as before.
Yeah. There's a lot of dead time here.
45 minutes is a long time.
But nothing's happening.
They're in tow. And soon they're going
Is
to
it in
make
real
a
time?
full
Do we have
they're
to?
gonna make a full right angle turn.
Look, this is exciting stuff for the 60s. They didn't have any special effects back then.
They
This-
didn't have Baylock in 1960s until this episode came out.
Like,
Life was
the
boring.
transporter effects pretty amazing. You have good characters that are well developed.
Let's see, right here they're making it more exciting without using any special effects. You don't need special effects to make it exciting.
You don't. You really
Just,
don't.
just make it.
Good music.
You just have to
show up
have
and
a
make it
slowly
sound
rising engine
serious.
sound.
Yeah, you're getting little choppy gyrings.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I've been his fan.
Okay. You're better.
Oh my god, we don't need more exterior shots of the toe. Move it along, Gene.
The exterior shots are really essential to the future, Ryan,
We've been
because
having exterior
if you
shots of
don't
toe for
get
like 5 minutes.
if you don't get copious amounts of exterior shots, people will forget that there's a world outside of the set.
Oh, I like that guy with a life vest.
Yeah, you guys are used to Gorn floating in a dead space. This is was as exciting as it got for 60s
This
television.
is so exciting. I'm glued to my seat right now.
Oh, the circles are glowing a bit brighter now.
Oh wow, we're getting a reaction shot.
Okay, something's gonna happen. Maybe? No, it's the same exterior shot again. No, there's
But
no
they
shearing
got
away.
more
Okay.
music. The Enterprise ship band is just having a grand old time.
Seriously, how long is this sequence?
45 minutes is a
Not
long
long enough.
period of time to fill.
Life jacket.
Something else they'd never done. A few times in TOS and TNG, they mentioned like, "Oh man, if we pushed the warp
Oh
limit,
god, Kirk's about to blow his load.
the ship's gonna fly apart." And he's like, "Fly her apart." And it's like, but the ship never actually
Oh,
flies apart, no matter what warp they're going.
something just happened. They did it.
Like, we all know how this episode's gonna end, so this is like incredibly boring to us.
It's
They're
not that
gonna
we know how it's gonna end, it's just that Shaw was too long.
we're
It was,
used to a lot of action sequences.
you don't let a
You
song go on for 10 minutes before you drop the bass. You have to
mm,
get there at some point. People
I
got
you
things
don't
to
do.
do.
you don't have a show about dragging somebody in tow for 10 minutes.
They added the camera shake, I think, in the remaster.
Really? It wasn't there before?
It doesn't
Camera
seem
shake
like
was too advanced for the 60s.
it was original. Like they were cropping the frame.
Huh.
As much as I am sort of ragging on this episode for nothing happening for 10 minutes at a time, I mean, episodes where nothing happens for a while are some of the best episodes. Mostly episodes about people
True.
just talking.
True. Usually talking is
But
talking
it's
is
like
good too.
talking about the same thing for 10 minutes.
hmm No, I mean, something I didn't realize until these watch-alongs is that every generation of TV writing has been influenced by the prior generation of TV writers, and we're the beneficiaries of like really good skills. But all this stuff, even like we said, A plot, B plot, we didn't even have that at this point.
Why Mr. Bailey? Oh, so we can get rid of him. That's not a joke. I remember now. They're going to pawn off Mr. Bailey, the trash helmsman, onto the aliens.
Uh, he like
Like,
looks at he's living on the ship, and he like walks around the corner in the morning with his like cup of Trania, and he sees the puppet. He's like, ah.
I
I
remember
got you again, Mr. Bailey.
in high
He
school,
like
I took a,
Balak like serves him gelatin, and like he's like, oh no.
later they do say that it's reconstituted food that comes out of the replicator.
So it's shit, as
You know how
Mo would
Tropicana is
say.
from concentrate or not from concentrate? I'm sorry, you were saying, Jarix?
Oh, just that's probably the same thing they do in the 31st century with their food.
Yeah. No, but you know how like food can be frozen or flash frozen, and you just add water, put it in the microwave. Basically, what
I guess you didn't say what it was reconstituted from.
Yeah, true.
Oh, look at how much they're going to torture Mr. Bailey. He has to hunch down for the rest of his life.
He becomes no, he can stand up in this one room.
Oh. Oh, come on, Kirk. You couldn't tell back on the ship that was a puppet. It was so obvious it was animatronic.
I couldn't tell. It was it's
The,
mouth
the,
is
the way
moving.
the way the head would just rotate like in place and like it's on a stick was the giveaway, I think.
Its lips didn't move at all when it was talking. The jaw just sort of lowered and raised.
Oh, I love this guy. Look at him with
Hey,
his
it's Pike.
stoplight and.
I don't know if this is great or terrible.
This is amazing. This is one of the
Porque no los
best
dos.
scenes of the entire show.
The reveal that Baylock is just a child.
How old is he here?
Like this would never happen
Like a 7-year-old kid, I'd guess.
in 2022. It's like, oh, the alien's
No.
just a baby
No, it would never.
who
happen.
likes Tang.
Yeah, it'd
why
never
not?
happen. Or
Why would we
reconstituted
not do that?
conscious.
We had, like, a baby blow up a whole civilization.
But Tranya is implied to be like some kind of drug.
It looks gross. It's not poison, I
Tranya.
promise.
But
Who's
the kid.
the voice is dubbed, right? It's still weird.
Yeah,
It's
that's
still-
not Clint Howard talking.
No. Did a good job with it though, I have to say.
I would assume they had Clint say everything first, and then the actor just matched the timing.
Yeah. That is well done. And they must have actually had him talk because it would be too weird to have him just lip sync.
Yeah. How advanced can their civilization be? They don't even use holograms.
Nice, scary.
The kid's a good actor, actually.
That's why we've been bringing Clint back for 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty unlikely, Mr. Baylor.
Yes, why would we, without knowing who you are, change our records?
Oh, so if we strangle the baby, we can take the ship.
Fight the baby. We can
Kill the
think about
baby.
how many Klingons this thing could kill.
Would they? We never hear about them again.
They give him the recipe for Tranya. That
That's
smile.
really just. Yes.
About that, Baylock. Why are you holding hands? You're not literally a child, dude.
You know, people used to hold their hands a lot more.
Yeah, it depended on who you were.
Like, in India and Pakistan, like boys will hold hands when they walk down the street.
I don't know why, but
There.
sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
I don't know why, but I feel like that's just one of like the most satisfying payoff episodes in all, or payoff scenes in all of Star Trek. After the whole Pence episode, he's like,
That
"Oh,
was
he's
a
a little."
sudden end.
Yeah,
to
he's-
the
It
Drake
was.
Yeah,
episode.
they just walked behind the set and end of episode. We're done.
Oops.
It reminds
Ran
me
out
of
of.
the.
We can't show you his ship after all.
It reminds me of the end of Move Along Home. It was only a game. There was no
Uh,
real danger.
I love the twists. I don't know if I should though.
My thing
Alright.
is, in the 1960s,
1 minute to the menagerie.
seeing that for the first time, you'd just be like, ah, that was a cute thing to watch.
So the Menagerie, as we all know, I assume, it is a clip show of the cage, which is all about Captain Pike. So, you
All right.
know.
Yes. First
I'm
introduction of the
dropping,
world
boys.
to Pike.
Have a good day.
Go
everyone.
watch Strange New
Jeez.
Worlds.
I'm waiting. I gotta watch it with someone.
Hmm.
Not that I don't want to watch it. It's just don't worry. Don't worry, Ryan. I'll be back and
It's
I'll be
good.
twice as powerful. I know it's good.
Kind of
Or you
sick
say
monster
so.
hasn't watched Strange New Worlds yet. Disgusting.
Friend of mine just started watching Star
What?
Trek, and he's now watched all of
Hold
Strange.
on,
Well,
press
will
play
have
in
now
5,
watched all of Strange New
4,
Worlds.
3, 2,
Entire series
one.
yesterday.
play.
I watched the entire season 2 yesterday.
And it's good. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Except
Eh,
the
9
first
and a half.
episode. I wasn't keen on the first episode. All the other episodes, 10 out of 10.
First episode. Is that with
Where they took the super drug and
Spot.
beat up a bunch of
the
Klingons.
super drug? Yeah, that was kind of silly.
That was weird.
I mean, it did set up later on in the season, so
I guess. Except they didn't really.
You
Nurse
know,
Chapel wasn't involved in the super drug murder process.
I want to see
well,
O'Brien
there's
on the
hinted that
super
she's
drug.
used. Well, actually, no, she hasn't used it in the past. She was just known about it, but it's hinted that she has done some combat to an extent.
I want to see O'Brien doing war crimes on Set Like 3.
He didn't do war crimes. He killed one
Didn't they mention
Cardassian.
2
One
in one of
time.
the episodes?
O'Brien, Chief O'Brien.
Didn't they mention Setlick 2? Didn't they name drop
Yes.
Setlick 2 in one of the episodes?
Yeah, that's the planet that was going to get the grain. Not
Oh.
the Quadrotriticale, the Tritriticale it was going to get.
Oh, so this is the Commodore, and the Commodore is basically the Admiral rank in TOS. But Commodores always are nefarious.
Oh, it's
I
a
like
it's
how
a
his ship pin is, or his Commodore pin is a flower.
Yes, instead of the Delta.
She has a
Secretary.
delta.
different rank, and it's also in TOS. Every ship had its own insignia and stations.
No, it does not. That is a lie.
Okay.
That has been debunked, sir.
Well, NASA,
Yeah.
He
every
met
mission
first. Oh,
for every
that,
mission,
right.
NASA has its own patch.
No, it was Starfleet starships have a designated patch. Civilian ships have a patch. Then there's one for star
Not a-
bases and one for research facilities.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's not per ship, it's per like category.
Fleet,
Okay, but it
yeah.
wasn't just the Delta on everything.
Yes.
But there was the secretary or whatever had a Delta.
Yeah, that was weird.
She's
She shouldn't
Starfleet.
have had a delta.
It's just a uniform they had lying around.
So my brother's funny. He has like Ryan's sense of humor. First time I told him about this episode, when we were kids, he's like, "How does this guy go to the bathroom? Did you just keep beeping?"
I mean, probably.
How do you say I want to go to the
Someone
bathroom?
asks him every once in a while whether he has to go.
The accident, it got rid of so much of Captain Pike's hair. What happened to his
Yeah.
luscious his mane? What happened?
Something crazy is, I always thought they used the dummy for Captain Pike's head, but later during the trial, they actually have the guy like move his eyes a bit.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Guy in there.
That's crazy.
Cheaper to put a guy in there at the time than it would to make a realistic bust like that.
That doesn't
Especially
even look
one
like,
that doesn't have any lines.
that looks
Yeah.
like a dummy to me. It doesn't even look like a person.
If you say so.
His eyes are moving. Hey, so here's a question. The musical episode,
Yes.
Was
who's
good.
auto-tuned and who's not auto-tuned?
But we know whoever has a Grammy. Like,
Yeah, Lon has a van.
Most are auto-tuned in the first song just to make it uniform.
And on
Probably also not because she's got a big.
No, she's an
She's
actress.
also yeah.
Everyone probably
She's
has
also
a little
got.
bit of tune going
I think
on.
it was Spock and
Correct.
Una for sure were auto-tuned, and Nurse
Mega.
Chapel.
Yeah.
But it seemed like Pike was actually singing, and La'an and
Yeah, on would
Kirk,
for sure have
maybe?
been, and Hirsch for sure would have been.
I didn't even
Uhura, I think,
realize.
was actually singing too.
I have both a question and a concern, which is when we finally get to Strange New Worlds on this stream, are we going to mandate that everybody has to sing during that
Yes.
episode?
Yes.
I mean, we kind of have to, right?
We have to sing the opening theme at least.
Everybody has
No.
to sing and it has to rhyme.
We have to
You can't
sing
speak
in.
unless you have actual lyrics.
We have to sing in
Oh
rhyme.
no, yeah, we kind of fun that we have to sing what the comments we made. That would be fun, actually.
And we did once do a stream where everyone had to talk like William Shatner, and that was a disaster.
But I'll just continue my singing until then. I'll start writing my lyrics now. I had no friends.
Well, there are official lyrics to the Star Trek theme,
Yes.
purely because Gene Roddenberry wanted some extra cash.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was something about the rights to this song, and Gene Roddenberry made lyrics just for legal and money reasons. I don't remember the whole story. He was trying to
gotta
rip
love-
someone off.
This set is always like the HQ for any mining station
He'd
or
get
whatever.
He'd get songwriter like royalties
Credits,
if he wrote lyrics for it, even if they weren't sung.
Mm. You know what's funny? When George Lucas made Star Wars, toys weren't worth that much back then, so he wrote himself that he would have all the revenues from the toys, and he became filthy rich from just that alone. Now the studios.
If I remember correctly, Kenner got the rights for like $25,000 too. Like they shopped it around and nobody wanted it, and Kenner got it for like $25,000, and they made a huge amount of money. Then they let the license lapse, in the like early 2000s, I think. Huge mistake.
Yeah, but these days,
weird.
there's no way a studio would let someone else have the toy rights.
What are you talking about? Kenner made the toys. They got the license to make the toys.
Now they wouldn't, though.
Oh, they have to get. They still have to license.
You're not very
different people to
stealthy
make
there.
it.
Yeah, I just meant these days though, like the director wouldn't have those rights.
Spock, why are you even sneaking? Aren't you allowed in here?
No,
That's factually incorrect. So one of the reasons why the Millennium Falcon had a square radar dish and the reason why C-3PO had a red arm was specifically so J.J. Abrams could get toy revenue. The toys had to be at least 25% different from the previous versions.
No.
I believe that's been refuted too. Something really
Helen.
great.
Wasn't Helen the Christmas party brain lobotomy person? Wasn't she in the
she's
lobotomy
rare
episode?
Possibly a rare instance of interconnectiveness in TOS.
She's wearing the star too. Oh, this is why Spock's in that room, is because he's hijacking the Enterprise.
Or is he?
He's getting he wants to get Pike.
He's gonna
he's
put
there
Pike
to
to
break the
Talos
message.
3 and do the death penalty. So it's crazy that we're only like less than 10 episodes in, but we have so much like Spock's loyalty to Pike and all this lore is already.
Hold on, the way that camera was framed, it looked like the chair was physically floating.
It's a future chair. It is floating.
That's the only instance I
Anti-grav
can
chair.
remember, even in TOS, of that looking like it with the chair being floating.
What I noticed with the camera move is it's very obvious that the city outside is it's just a picture.
What this implies is everybody's voice is just a matter of pitch. Like if I just change the pitch, I can sound like Ryan.
There are more than enough voice clips of all of us that
Mhm.
anyone could clone our voices.
It's very true.
It'd be super easy.
You
I'd
probably
prefer if
Maybe
you did
we-
not, though.
clone me singing. But this was probably also very, like
Oh, Hers in red again. Good for her.
I think I don't know if audio cassettes were that common. They were more common during the 80s. But the idea that you could manipulate audio on tape, very technologically innovative.
Call security. Why are you just trying to push Mr. Spock?
Oh, I like how they
Yeah,
have
just
There's no way he would have pushed
Nerve
him.
pinch him. Okay, there we go.
He didn't do that right off the bat.
Yeah.
but I like how they have a computer room, because like computers just go in a room. You don't
Yeah.
have you don't have a
At the
computer in a
time,
room.
they assumed that computers would always be huge,
Yeah.
just be more fast,
Yeah, but
just
like
as big.
in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when Bones comes on the bridge for the first time, he's like, "Looks like a goddamn computer center." The idea that like a bridge would be computerized.
That's true. You really don't hear the words computer room anymore, do
No, you don't.
you?
Or like on the Apollo, what was it, 11 that got to the moon? Um, whatever. They had an analog computer, because if you had the transistors we have today, they'd be fried in the Van Allen belt. So an analog computer could survive that, and they didn't have like shielding. It was like literally an aluminum tin can. But these days, you don't have to say something's
It
a
wasn't
digital.
analog. It was transistors. It just weren't as
They were
small
just trash transistors.
or humongous transistors by comparison. And deep
Yeah,
space
but
probes still use very, very hardened electronics.
it wasn't a digital computer.
That's definitely what it was. It was digital.
Okay, I mean I
Which
will
one?
concede.
So anyway, how about that weather?
Space is real.
If Captain Pike is blinking constantly, no. How do they know he's not blinking constantly? Yes.
he's probably doing do. Beep 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 beep. Come on, Kurt. Let your intuition show you.
It cannot be Mr. Spock. No, McCoy. No, we
this
know
one.
that. God.
Which is emphasized a lot in Strange New Worlds, though I hope they're not actually being serious with it.
No, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that it's a logical thing for Vulcans to tell people, and so people they've
Yeah.
successfully spread this idea.
Fun fact, guys. It's physically impossible for me to tell a lie either.
Mm, wow.
It's just that in the Spock is Human episode, his mother says he'll teach him how to lie, though it could be, I suppose, just her perception of it.
I mean, presumably Tuvok had to tell a lie at least once in order to, infiltrate the Maquis.
Ah, but he was being true to his principles.
Right, so they can only lie if it's important to them. In other words.
Only if they feel like it. Except for that one time that a ship visited. But it's okay because that ship doesn't exist yet anymore. We don't talk about that time Discovery visited because, like, Spock had a beard at the time and it was just wrong.
They visited because needs must in that particular instance. And yeah, nobody can talk about it and all of that stuff.
Oh, I
And
meant to
also, of
get a
course,
screenshot of that because that paper there, yeah, that's hugely racist against Spock.
Hmm.
It lists everybody just like, oh, yes, Captain Kirk, Lieutenant Sulu, Lieutenant whoever. And then it specifies half human science officer, Mr. Spock. Like, why
That
is
is
Spock
pretty.
the only one?
yeah.
That is sus.
Probably
It's
because at the
messed up,
time, Starfleet
Commodore.
was still
Oh, of course,
largely
we must
human.
know that this is not the only death penalty, even in TOS. I think there's another one in TOS. Definitely is later on.
Whoa, whoa, says who? Well, Starfleet orders, but come on, man.
Eyebrow.
Spock, the way you phrase that sounds very sus.
Yeah.
Why would you say it like that? Are we going to murder McCoy now? Nerf bench McCoy? Are you alright? I like, yes, the beeping. So that's how we know he's not just saying yes over and over. Or though he could be saying yes, 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 yes. So we don't know for sure. But
We can have a visor, but we can't give this guy a voice box.
nah.
We
You
have
know,
voice boxes now.
okay, so Commodore Mendez says later that like we still haven't been able to unravel the secrets of the mind. So like what we're doing now, which is like, a machine can work the synapses of a paralyzed person. It's not even fathomable back then.
Oh, I found a screenshot of that
Well,
top secret file. It said the only Earth ship that ever visited planet Talos 4 was the USS Enterprise, commanded by Captain Christopher Pike with half Vulcan science officer Spock.
If you don't have security clearance, you should not have heard that.
well, even today, we aren't actually using the brain for the hand signals and things. We're literally just extending what the brain was doing already and using the nerve signals which already end up there when you're controlling it to go, okay, this is what this nerve signal actually means.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're more like reprogramming other nerves and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starbase 11 shuttle.
It was a very long shot.
We have 90
Whoa,
minutes.
shuttle. Oh, wait, no. Shuttlecraft 1. Not. I was thinking, like, no, it's 11. No, it's Shuttlecraft 1.
Yes.
And this is a Starbase shuttlecraft. It's not the Enterprise one.
I mean, what could they even possibly be doing? These shuttles don't have warp. Where are they going?
I
Well,
mean,
Problem shuttles do. We
they're
know
keeping up with the
Discovery and
Enterprise,
Enterprise also
so
do.
they do have warp. Oh, this is why I'm saying stealing the Enterprise is there's no punishment for Spock here for
It's a
stealing
time honored tradition.
starting now.
And he's, done
there
it, and he's done it before.
yes, there is a bit of an ad hoc explanation later in this episode for why.
Yes,
Remember that episode about Enterprise Bingo
No, yeah.
from Strange New Worlds? One of the things on the list is stealing the Enterprise.
Is it really?
Yeah,
No, but it should
is.
be.
Oh, okay, it should be.
Everybody needs to steal the Enterprise at least once.
So this starts the hallowed tradition because he wanted a good retirement for Captain Pike.
Yep. Kurt knows that Spot will not leave him to die in the vacuum of space.
Well, you might.
SB 111201. Oh, Starbase 11.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a nice radar thing.
Man, this shuttle looks awful to be in. There's one tiny little window.
You don't. No. So it's the same shuttle as Galileo 7. I like it. It's a nice roomy. It's way roomier than the TNG shuttles. Even though it's
Just-
designed for like 6 people.
It needs windows.
Wait,
They're
your
going
fuel
off
literally just burnt out and you've only got 2 hours of oxygen left. What is the design of this shuttlecraft?
It's like going to see the Titanic, basically, right? No, the aesthetic though.
You know, Eagle Moss built this for them. Well, they built the physical shuttlecraft that you see. They only built it at 2/3 scale. So if you notice when people get in and out of it, they have to like scrunch down to get inside.
Yeah.
But
They did
also,
that in exchange for the model rights. So that's why all the Star Trek models are Eagle Moss.
Not anymore.
They don't exist anymore.
That company's dead.
but
Feel bad for the people who were partway through their Enterprise D build.
I'm pretty sure fans will do a 3D replacement for the thing.
Well, there's already a company that's supposed to be finishing it, but still, I just think it was a bad idea in the first place to have a subscription to a model kit. It's going to take.
But that way
3
they could get more money.
Yes.
Yeah, but then you have like the saucer section in 14 separate pieces on each side.
But money. Also, yes, that is Majel Baird as the computer.
You have to find the most foolish fan base possible and milk the honey out of them. No offense.
Milk the honey. You milk the honey out of it.
The honeydew.
Yeah, that's how beehives work.
Milk the bees. Little tiny nipples.
Well, they got your money, Robo, is what I'm trying to say.
Me, I wasn't foolish enough to buy that stuff.
Okay. You sound really upset about it.
I just
Spot had this plan.
for a while I was watching a YouTube series with this guy. He was building a bunch of different things of their stuff, and I just always thought that was a horrible idea.
So, who's the next in command? Is it Scotty at this point?
No, it's
They gave,
Sulu.
they, they gave him they gave the bridge to that guy, right?
Riley.
I don't remember his name, but he
just
said
'cause
that
he's like-
he's got the bridge.
But just because he's like there, right? Aren't we?
Pretty much.
Aren't we giving it to a main character? Or
Also, Spock not only commandeered the ship, but he also fabricated Kirk's voice. So impersonating a senior officer. Yeah, it's true. Quarters arrest is not enough for somebody who's...
it's fine.
So yeah, the insubordination continues throughout the entire court-martial. So yeah, you're gonna watch this video. I know I commandeered the ship and I'm under trial, but you're gonna watch the video.
I mean, that is how a trial works. You get to show them your evidence.
Yeah, but it's not on your timing.
Spot prepared for all eventualities, including being taught by Kurt.
Here, it's gonna short circuit the life support system. Like, are you serious? You don't get to like give orders to your superiors, and a Commodore at that.
But what if your superior's not a main character?
I guess he's not scared of the flower badge. I gotta say though, even though we've known about this for like 60 years now, really well done. I don't think anybody's ever reused footage.
How often do they
Better-
mention
Go ahead.
Spock's rank?
Commander, right?
Lieutenant Commander.
Thanks.
I just. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea how to read the bands on their arms for
Yeah.
rank. No idea.
Yeah, it apparently doesn't match up very well.
That's the ribbons on their sleeves.
Yeah, but I don't know how to read that.
In the military, it's common enough because like the arm has those spikes, the triangle, the
Spikes? Like they have early 2000s spiky wristbands in the military?
No. You know the arrows, like 4 arrows is a
Chevrons.
yes.
Also, keep in mind, there's never been any record of a mutiny aboard a starship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did they say that line?
Later in TOS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
that
it's
wasn't even
Spock
true
that says
on
it.
the original series then,
Yeah. No,
much less
they were-
other series.
we get full blown mutiny. Also, Spock is not only committing a crime; he's committing the worst crime on record.
He's trying to help an old man.
The only death penalty left on the books.
Except, well, about that.
Well, about that.
It happens a couple of times where people will say, oh, that's the only death penalty on record for completely different things.
But but that's what I'm saying. No other episode that reuses somebody else's footage manages to do it so well.
Well, it helps that
And
it's not really reused. They never used this footage.
yes.
It is reused.
Yeah,
It's
So how they
it's
got these
reused in the
camera
sense that they
shots?
prior filmed it, but it was never shown.
Yes. So how they got these camera shots in show
Don't
is
worry about that.
interesting. Which means
It's
they
an
already got
amazing-
some simulation capability.
It's an amazing zoom in.
Are they going to show the sexism? Is that canon?
yeah.
The tapes also, like, this isn't a tape being displayed. The Talosians are broadcasting this live from Talos 4.
So in the cage, the start of the episode, they talk about like, oh, you're still thinking about Rigel
Retiring.
7 and
Yeah,
that horrible event there.
yeah. And he's like,
Rigel
I'm
7, of
thinking
course, is the episode that we got in Strange New World. It's the memory weird episode,
right,
Hmm.
where they leave the guy on the planet.
which means that the reason Captain Pike is so sexist at the start of the cage is he's still being affected by the weird memory asteroids.
But he
It's
isn't.
not really Captain Pike.
Well, no, because in that episode he says that it shows you who you are, so it'd be the opposite.
Shut up. Is that... Wait, what's that on his chest? Is that...
That's a award.
Why does he have
ribbon.
triangles?
That's a award. Like
Yeah.
military awards look like that.
Do they?
So that's the
Yeah.
theory I've seen, that it's they call fruit salad.
Like
The
badges. And
collection of
stuff.
ribbons someone has on their
Yeah.
chest that you'd have on a dress uniform.
Yeah. Decorations, that's what they're called.
Pretty muted compared to the fruit salads.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because, authoritarian
IRL.
countries go over the top with all those ribbons. Like,
I mean, it's not just an authoritarian thing.
yeah.
Fruit salads get pretty impressive on anyone's uniform, just because it's like whatever random mission they were on.
Yeah. No, but I just learned in North Korea, because their army hasn't gone to war in a while, they're allowed to wear their fathers' and grandfathers' ribbons. So
That's
they
cute.
have like a whole chest full of decorations. But yeah, no one in that military has fought a war in 70 years.
Oh no, wait. Spock's hair is entirely wrong. What is this?
This was a long time
guy-
ago when women were allowed to be first officer.
Hold on. What just use a hand signal to turn the page?
He can't do that.
It's a PowerPoint slide.
So,
What?
Class M dates back to a cage. I didn't know that.
Well,
I'm
this is
telling
the
you this.
cage, so yes.
The
That's what I'm
menagerie.
realizing.
The
Yeah.
menagerie. He meant the menagerie.
I'll have you know it dates back to Star Trek Enterprise, where it's Minshara class. It's a
Okay.
Vulcan designation.
I made it in release order in terms
Yes.
of when it was written.
Yeah, we got you. We just like to give people
Wait,
a hard
what are
time.
they wearing? Why are they just like casual?
Tourist outfits.
Are
We're
they
in
not
sunny
officers?
Florida.
What's the deal?
Oh, it's the original prop.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, that's his. That looks very fragile, shall we say?
It's true.
I gotta say,
You're definitely supposed to be impressed by that communicator. Like,
I
ooh,
love
high
this
tech.
team. This doctor, the guy's like all jaded. He's like, the Rigel mission messed me up. And the doctor's like, yeah, maybe it's time to retire.
I mean, it's time for this guy to retire because we need to make room for Dr. Mbenga.
Something else crazy back then, like, people, when people mostly lived in the farms rather than the cities, country doctors had a briefcase just like that. And all the medicine you needed was in one briefcase. That's the guy. Tonsils taken out, he does it. There's no specialists. There's just the country doctor. Or if you need a whiskey. Hey, that's a nice USS Enterprise patch.
So was this still the 60s or was this the 50s? What time period are we looking at?
Well,
This is
the original Star Trek
still
was
the
released in
60s, right?
1966.
67 instead of 68.
It probably was just about the 60s.
It's the show came out in 67, 68, 69.
So this was filmed earlier than that, presumably.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
around
65,
67.
66.
The
Yeah, but-
first episode was 1966 in release.
Oh, thanks. See, like, he's very bitter and jaded.
He doesn't even know he's
that's-
going to die yet.
That's because he's literally just had a mission which went crap, as we find out in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
More about what happened.
Yeah.
Which
I
does
think-
give a lot of extra context to it.
They wanted Jeffrey Hunter to do it. He just got busy with, like, another role. We would have never gotten... I think Jeffrey Hunter could have done it.
This is a few years before Strange New Worlds, right?
Yes.
This is 2 years before the series Strange New Worlds, yes.
Yeah.
Because in Discovery, we've got the year of the Klingon War between this episode and Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one he's talking about the Rigel mission that Ryan alluded to. And it's funny because we see it in the jump later when the Talusians put him and the beautiful girl
She has a
back on
name,
Rigel.
Earview.
Back on Rigel. Sorry, I'm just too busy looking at her.
Vina.
Vina, thank you. And she's not beautiful either.
That's very rude.
She's mangled and misshapen from the Telosians not having seen a person before.
Continues to be very rude toward Vina.
They say in the episode she's misshapen because they never saw a human before.
Maybe you're the one who's misshapen.
True.
Ooh.
Paper.
That's true. Paper is hilarious.
God, they don't even have display. What is this?
It's a telegram. They're still yelling telegrams.
What do they do with all the paper? Because they don't have a replicator to recycle it.
My
They
mom
don't.
said
They don't have
the
like
last-
landfills.
the last telegram in the world was sent in India around 2018. But my mom said the only time you would get a telegram is when somebody died.
It was very interesting in the design of the original bridge set to the new one for TOS, in that there's a few differences in the actual bits which they
Yeah.
put on there, but mostly they just repainted it.
And the gooseneck lamps.
Yeah, that's the difference. That was what I was saying. They moved some things around.
They look totally ridiculous to us now, but I'm pretty sure they were pretty space futuristic.
Space law? They call it space law?
Interstellar law.
But how, Spock?
So, if you missed this, Spock is being tried by 3 command officers: Captain Pike, Captain Kirk, and Commodore Mendez. So,
I don't know how Captain Pike could possibly be on this jury.
he's like, do we continue or not?
For one, it's a massive conflict of interest because he's the one who was kidnapped.
Right.
Captain Kirk can't be here because he's friends with Spock. Okay, well, the man who was kidnapped says it's fine, so whatever, I guess.
Yes. The man who's kidnapped gets the day. But something I love about
It's like a
Stranger World-
drumhead trial.
when they put our first officer in Stranger Worlds on trial, they bring out these dress uniforms. Even Spock shows up in
Yes.
this blue and gold thing. I died when
They
I
look
saw
way better in Strange New Worlds, though. These are
No.
kind of rough,
These are rough, but they're very classy and well done.
if you say so.
I'd rather wear these than wear the Stranger World ones.
You do you, my dude.
Because in the 60s, it was called a Mao jacket, but I'm from India, so we call it a Nehru jacket. But it was a very stylish thing to have your collar going down like that in a ribbon. I wore something like that to my sister's wedding.
Oh, and to answer the question I asked 30 minutes ago, they did cut out the sexism. So
Yes.
that's nice. Not just the one I can't get used to a woman on the bridge. There was also a bit about Captain Pike going like a female yeoman. And he like berates her for being bad at her job before she actually delivers the report, and he's like, "Oh,
Well, you do get 3 women in a cage, and a man basically has to pick one of them. And
yeah." And Captain Pike berates all of them.
Yeah, and she doesn't have enough feeling, supposedly, to be like a woman. So she's not really a woman. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, she's shunned for being like not maternal enough or something. Whatever.
One thing I do like, I like the things they just put on. They have like harnesses they clip all their equipment to. That's good. Because in
I like
TOS,
these-
what they do is they put on some weird belt that everything just sort of clips onto. I don't like the belt. I do like the harness. Harness good.
I like these gooseneck visor things too. So futuristic.
It's a desk lamp. Why do they have desk lamps?
I'm trying to see what harness.
It was underneath their jacket.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, their sweaters go over them to keep them nice and warm.
And
Okay,
we're
what I do
beaming.
not like is that transporter sound. That actually hurts.
Yeah.
It's too high pitch.
The thing is, they could have replaced the transporter sound very easily.
They have away team jackets. That's
There
fun.
was no need for them to use the old transporter sound from the episode.
Oh,
Special
and this
effects
is
I
even
get
the only
keeping
episode
that.
where we get a different planet set because this was before the show.
Oh,
Yeah. It looks like a cowboy western.
Look
With
at
all
that
the
giant
backdrop.
painted backdrop.
yeah.
Is
That's
that
like that
Nevada?
painted backdrop is basically just America.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Nevada.
That's national park territory right there.
It's a backdrop that they had in storage.
Yeah,
They used for
definitely.
some Western thing, and they just rolled it out.
Yeah.
No doubt.
They took out all the backdrops they have for all the westerns and put them together.
And it could be worse. It could be a season 1 TNG gradient guy that's just a single color gradient.
It's
Man,
what mine
TOS
is.
does that too. But yeah, it's bad.
TOS gets gradients. for
We're
sure.
on the fade from yellow to red planet.
Hey, that's called the city on the edge.
Is that better or worse than the rocks that are clearly just like trash bags with paint?
Don't lean on this rock in particular. There's nothing supporting it. It's crumbles.
Careful, crewman.
I do like finding a whole colony of survivors.
People
Though. It's kind of a
or
cool.
rotation mod survivors.
You know, despite all the jokes we made, they do look really off-world. You know, like we found a.
Well, they're mostly humans.
Look, they got a weather vane
There are
going.
what?
I'm Captain
5.5
Christopher Pike.
humans
This
on
is
the
my half
weather
Vulcan
team?
science officer, Spock.
United Spaceship Enterprise.
See? United Space Ship.
Hey, the time barrier has been
again,
broken.
yeah.
We already broke the space barrier.
Where are they getting the makeup on this planet?
Know where they're getting the makeup on this planet.
And the reveal for everyone who didn't watch the TV show, which was everyone at the time of this release.
They're watching TV.
They are the pharmaceutical
No,
company.
is this part of the? So this must be part of the clips that we're saying that they're saying in the
Yes.
trial. Then
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't worry about how we got this camera shot. Just
Well, they
ignore
do
it.
actually explain it in
It's
episode.
fine.
It is the
They do, they will.
Talosians showing it.
Something very chilling is that this planet was destroyed from like nuclear. They nuked each other so many times that it was totally destroyed, and then these big brain people had to go underground, and only now is it safe enough for them to come out. So it's kind of a warning to humanity. You know, we may have to live underground if we keep things.
When do we
the way
get the
they're
big
going.
brains?
After we go underground from the nuclear annihilation.
That's when we start eating the diggers.
they hadn't invented the Vaseline trick yet, apparently.
And see, if your brains were that big, wouldn't you get fat? How come they didn't see that coming?
So she wasn't part of the original ship crew?
No, she was a baby, like newborn when she came when the ship crashed.
Ah, yes, let the girl show them.
The only one who is real.
And
Mm-hmm.
even then, only like half.
Mm-hmm.
And also girl, not woman.
Mm-hmm. True. So you would call a secretary a girl, like.
I'm curious how they're explaining that these people are even surviving, because there's no like farmland, there's no
No.
crops, there's
No.
no vegetation anywhere except some shrubs.
And blue leaves.
There's nothing to hunt.
Food synthesizer. And a still for making booze.
I think
You know, why would you say it like that?
the we have so few colonies and planets, just to find like a group of colonists that survived is kind of, oh wow.
What did
Those
he do? What did he spray him with?
With CG, don't worry about it.
they needed a they needed a hot captain, so they kidnapped him. You know, something I gotta say though, I love about this, you realize how big their mind was? They basically have the ship's phasers fire at this mountain, and it appears to them that they haven't made a dent.
Yeah.
Well, in the cage they call them lasers.
Mhm.
Lasers
They
can't
bring
even
down
penetrate our rock shields. Don't they know that?
this giant laser cannon, and they send energy from the ship down to the cannon and shoot the door.
Yeah.
And then when they reveal the illusion, it had blown it clear off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The door's probably already melted at this point.
Right.
How long do you think it took them to film the extra bits for this episode?
Like a day.
Yeah. Let's reuse all this we didn't.
Well, I'm gonna say it. The rest of the episode took them 2 days. 1 day for the core room, 1 day for the shuttle stuff and ship stuff.
And Starbase.
The guy probably took a while to get in his makeup because he can't get out of that wheelchair, easily. He looks pretty stuck in there. Like they
I
didn't
assume the
really.
chair just like the front and back are held together with like dowels, so it just slides off.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it's kind of like angled, so it stays on from gravity.
But he also has that skin makeup on, which they don't have dermal regenerators. Very dramatic line.
Yes, kill Captain Kirk.
He's
Wait,
like,
but Mendez, shouldn't you be on the death penalty too then?
Yeah.
true, you're in charge of the Enterprise now.
Also, if Captain Kirk is facing the death penalty, he really, really should not be on this tribunal.
Yeah.
Now he's determining his own guilt or innocence.
Oh, that's a court
Yeah, the
reporter.
tribunal must end at this point.
No, he said I waive my rights to counsel and I demand a court martial right now.
No. In terms of for Kirk,
Yeah.
because he's been implicated.
His involvement. No, but I'm saying that once the trial has begun, you can't end it like that.
Well, it turns out
You
you
very
can,
much
can.
though.
Once it turns out, that there's a
And that
conflict of
happens all the
interest that
time.
arises during the trial.
I mean, the conflict of interest began with Pike, so
Well, yes and no in
Okay,
terms
but
of that.
an
It was
additional conflict of interest still.
okay.
yeah, that
So-
it was justifiable to have Pike on it because the connection was unknown at the time.
Mhm.
But as soon as Church is implicated by Starfleet law, and again, Pike was on it because Starfleet law, but Church is now implicated by that same Starfleet law, meaning therefore the trial must end.
I mean, they even throw Kirk in prison for killing Chancellor Gorkin for the same thing. His captain's responsible for his crew.
To be
To be
concluded next
concluded
week.
next week.
Which is
Man,
to
that-
say now. Everybody queue up part 2.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Which
It
is
would be
gonna be
kind
the
of
same
funny
as
if we
part
did do this. want to get more humans.
The surface of the planet is now
Kind of
habitable.
want
So
want
they
to give
need-
her a
Also,
companion.
I had muted the stream. You should press play in 3, 2, 1, play. I fixed
They wa-
it. It's back. I pressed the wrong button.
they want a race of slaves, so they need Vina and Pike to make babies.
I got the NX01 Edelmoss model and a couple of other Star Trek models from Master Replicas, and the NX01 is gorgeous.
The NX-01 is the best looking ship in all of Star Trek.
It's
love
the
the
best
NX-01.
model they've made, at least
I'm
that I
partial
know
to the Excelsior myself, the original Excelsior, and the NCC 2000, but not the refit Excelsior.
Now a shell of a man. Rude. So, it's gonna be revealed that the way they got the shots of the Telosians is the Telosians sent over the imagery. But I can't imagine the Telosians were recording themselves in the original instance, so they had to like react it.
Well, they can
That makes
create
sense to
anything
me,
of
but
their
yeah.
own mind.
The Telosians
so-
have provided this dramatic recreation of the original events.
But they had to have created the shots of the Enterprise as well, because those weren't taken by the Enterprise.
The Pasteur. Wait, is the Pasteur the one that's? Does it have a ball?
I think so.
Yeah, the Daedalus class.
Yeah, it does have a ball. I'm not sure. I'm not big on that design. It's fine.
I love it. That's my favorite old design.
It's more efficient volume to surface area ratio.
I mean, just build a big honeycomb.
But does the USS Pasteur have grapplers?
The
I bet
grapplers
it
are the
doesn't.
best.
Love grapplers. And in real life, we have grapplers. We literally harpoon stuff to drag ourselves into it. Harpooned a comet once.
They tried to grapple the Titan submarine, but
With a harpoon?
yeah, it doesn't work so great.
I mean, I imagine that a harpoon into a submersible wouldn't do very well.
It sticks great in carbon fiber, but I mean, also kills everyone on board.
Well, they were already dead. The Menagerie, Part 2. This clearly in violation of law and unethical court-martial of Mr. Spock has been...
Such a great outfit.
Why does
Are
he
you
have no
Spock?
choice, exactly?
Are you sorry?
Oh.
I like the garbage bag walls. Very fancy. On the screen, of course, not on the... not in real life.
That's an interesting shot, though, because it's reasonably well done.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set actually. Put good money into it.
Did they like redress an actual zoo?
Possibly.
Yeah, they got a really nice piece of glass too.
The Space Vehicle Enterprise. It's not canon. Don't worry about that.
SV Enterprise.
The Earthship Enterprise.
You know, I was watching a lecture by an academic on ancient civilizations, and he
You
postulated,
would.
yes. So there was like an ancient civilization called Alluvians in Syria, and he made a joke that imagine there's two aliens watching us on New Year's Day, and he's like, "What are the Earthlings celebrating? Oh yeah, their planet went around the sun one time." I was like, "See, I told you they weren't very smart."
What's the joke?
Why would we have a celebration just because our planet made one revolution around our
Why
star?
not?
That's, I mean, we're pretty dumb to think because that's going to happen anyway, whether we celebrate or not.
We don't
I mean,
celebrate.
generally
It doesn't
celebrations aren't intended to make things happen.
But what's there to celebrate about a rotation around your star? Everybody, that's happening all the time.
Well, it sounds like the aliens are total buzzkills.
celebrating that our civilization managed to endure another year on the planet.
Mhm. Why not celebrate an additional
Oh,
second
Spock,
or
thank
additional
you.
month?
You're making the exact point I made earlier. That planet is too barren to support life. There's nothing to eat. There's no water. Thank you, Spock. Even with your weird, greasy hair.
Too barren to support life. First officer's womb.
And also survive nuclear destruction. Well, it's just getting out of Chernobyl. And if you notice, their com badges also have like a science logo or whatnot in them to show.
It's just sewn into the
Oh,
uniform. They're not com badges at this time, but yes.
they just said
Thank
it. They
you.
said hand
And
lasers.
Oh, and last week I was wondering if they had shields, but shields are basically like screens work the exact same way as shields.
This is what the terminology wasn't developed at this time.
Right. But also later, I remember Kirk says put it on screen. So if you're using screen to refer to the shields around the ship and screen to refer to the view screen, it can be a little bit clumsy.
Well, that's just English in general. It's a trash language.
Mm, it is problematic in that sense.
Soma, why would you make English like this?
We
Yeah.
didn't. We had lots of other people make it for us.
Yeah.
To a fair extent.
Uh,
And now here's
William the
a strange new
Conqueror
world.
from Normandy.
There it is. This is the
Hey!
same planet that we saw in Strange New World Season 2. This is Talos
Yes.
7. Oh, wait,
It
no,
was
not Talos. It's Rigel 7.
It was such a crap mission that he's still haunted by it. Big Bigfoot things attacking you.
I mean,
And
there is
so-
a very easy explanation for why this looks so different, and that's because she doesn't exist in the mission.
Right. But
Yeah,
he's
when
not
I-
even thinking about that.
When that episode came out, Strange New Worlds, I loaded them up side by... What was that facial expression? I loaded them up side by side, and yeah, it's totally different. The palace is a completely different palace.
Yeah.
That's
No, but
disappointing.
we haven't seen Rigel for any of the 60 years of television between now and then.
Is this where the Rigelians come
I would-
from?
but they
Is this
could've
the
made
same
it-
Rigel?
Look more like it without
Yeah,
making it look old. That's a false choice.
I agree. Jarynx. I think they did a really good job of making the palace like beautiful, actually. It's because you're in a cage and you're both zoo animals that are supposed to breed in captivity.
This is not what the people look like in Strange New Worlds.
No, this was offensive.
Offensive caricatures in my Star Trek.
He's just like killing brute. But
He's
I
a
gotta say,
barbarian.
Strange New Worlds did an amazing thing. This is the planet where like you never remember. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
Amazing use of the plot.
Chris, did you bring a gun, or did they take that?
It's Jeffrey Hunter. Sorry, Chris Pike.
I think they took his
Yeah,
gun.
they took the gun.
A hand laser.
It's okay. There's a spear. Or no, okay, he's a mace guy. Really, Captain, I think you should go for the spear.
Yeah, he's a tall guy.
Especially
you could
against the shield.
No, you're not
Ooh.
gonna.
+2 armor class.
And you gotta love the serious music to this fight scene.
Chris, you're not gonna be able to go brawn for brawn against this guy.
No,
Come on.
this guy's like a.
Oh, now you have a
Got
spear.
his
Oh, did you see the bend on that blade?
Guys, 1966.
Yep. Improvised weapon.
Have you been playing Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate?
A little bit.
What
I did
class
watch
are
the
you?
D&D movie.
Fire.
Of course you are.
Yeah. I'm the whole group, so it's really, not I'm going to make interesting decisions. But
The Dungeons and Dragons movie, though, was so good.
It was
it
pretty
was good. It was
And
really
I
good.
like how it opened with Captain Kirk and the ice mines of Rurapenthe.
Yeah.
Wait. He puts. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, we killed the bad guy.
You can see the damage to the film.
Yeah.
We killed the bad guy.
He wasn't a bad guy. He was just Captain Pike literally invaded his house.
Yeah.
It was supposed to make him more attracted to the Vina. I'm not gonna call her the beautiful woman. Yeah,
No,
he's tall.
clearly Spock is the one who gets to dictate this trial. Come on, Spock, reach down and ring the bell. That's how you know the trial's over. No
Two
bell.
red
Have they even
studs.
used the bell this episode? I don't think they have. Mendez better ring it.
Taco Bell?
No, the court-martial bill. I think we used it at the start to commence the trial.
No, they
The
reconvened
way
and
he
they
said
didn't ring the
Starship
bell.
didn't make it sound like it was talking about a flagship specifically.
Later, when Kirk is put on trial in court-martial, again, you have an all-male panel of judges, and I'm glad we fixed that in Strange New Worlds.
This
And
dog
also-
has a tongue that looks like fruit by the foot.
Also, in TNG, when you have Admiral Sati, who's doing the Inquisition of the the 1/4 Romulan guy, she's a woman who's doing a judge's job, so that's kind of good.
That was weirdly phrased, but all right. Mike, what are you talking about?
Well, they're telepaths. Why wouldn't? I mean, that's a fair question. Are they experiencing his feelings?
Are they empaths as well as telepaths?
Well,
What if I let
Yeah,
the monster
certainly
man
could be.
stab
They-
me so they have to feel it?
they do feel what he feels, because remember, like when he attacks the guy and he like punches him, he's like, they don't know how to respond to his primitive emotions like anger and aggression. So they are empathic. Also, the scene when he materializes in Missouri with his horse, very Nexus-like. You know, I gotta
Any
say,
serious equestrian has their own saddle.
Which, Gyrinx, you'll be glad to know that a saddle can be used as an improvised weapon.
oh
Good
wow,
to
this
know.
is
Why
this
are
is
they diving for cover? Like the thing clearly has controls and a targeting thing, so that you're supposed to be standing back there using it, right? Like, why did they get out of the way?
Because they're blasting a giant rock face and now debris flying everywhere, man. That's why.
Yeah.
Perfectly cubical debris.
they're,
I do
There should be like a blast shield around the operator station.
they're
I do find
nuking
it
the
interesting
mountain.
that they never use anything similar in the future.
Yeah,
I find it interesting that they clearly hate people with epilepsy. Jesus.
it
These these communicators that they're using, they're bigger than the regular communicators, aren't they?
in TNG.
It's
If
the
we
very
wanted to
first
do
drop.
this, we just use the ship's phasers to fire on the surface, and we wouldn't get the shot.
I don't think that ever
Yeah.
do they
That
ever
happened
use the ship's weapons against the surface in
plenty of
TNG?
times.
Yeah, they
I
think
use
that
them
was
to
the case
stun everybody
three.
on a block on the gangster
No,
planet.
in TNG, in Next Gen.
On TNG, like
I-
they do
there,
it when they
there was
drill
a
holes
planet.
with the phasers, right?
Yeah, there was a planet with some kind of weather problem or
And they used gun
terraforming.
on weather to fix it.
They used a gun on the planet. Yeah.
They drilled holes with the phasers and then they
Use
launched
gun on
torpedoes
weather.
down the
Yeah.
holes.
I mean, they heated the metal, at least
They
to
use
their
the phaser.
perception.
They use the ship's phasers to drill a hole on Tasha Yar's planet to beam people through the rock.
Thanks.
Okay, I've solved the problem because the doctor knows what's going on. He knows it's just an illusion. So you
Mhm.
get someone blindfolded and just have them
Mm.
walk.
I want,
No,
I want those goggles.
they
I think
control
they
your
can
senses.
influence your touch as well.
Yeah, your touch.
Those goggles are cool.
You know,
I mean,
Captain
technically
Pike.
you would be able to walk through it, but your body would never really sort of let you.
I mean, I've played some VR games. I can make myself look through what looks like solid objects.
But it feels like it's a solid object as well.
So in Star Trek universe, this Pike, he knows he's gonna be in a wheelchair. Like
Not this one.
No,
you said,
not yet.
no, because you're saying
Yeah, he hasn't. No, the Discovery
Strange
episode
New
hasn't
World is
happened yet.
Strange New Worlds is 2 years before this episode, right? Before
No, before
the Menagerie.
this episode is 2 years before Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Cage is 2 years before Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
Also, if the blindfold idea won't work, I vote instead we pick up one of the lighter members of the crew and just throw them at the rock face.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if their body will let them move through, they're gonna move through.
Wait, has Anson Mount seen the Telosians? I guess is what I'm asking. Like,
I don't know what
No.
you're asking anymore.
I mean,
let's see.
the
This
guy Strange
episode-
New Worlds takes place after Discovery season 2. So
okay, thanks.
Chronologically, in universe, it goes The Cage, then Discovery, then Strange New Worlds.
Thank you.
yeah.
And this is called the Menagerie. What we're
Yes,
watching right
which
now.
is footage
Yes.
from The Cage.
Thank you, thank you.
And this, of course, is after Strange New Worlds. The Menagerie, the trial, is after Strange New Worlds because Pike,
Yeah, it's
obviously.
paralyzed.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to explain,
Yeah.
I refuse.
Okay, thanks. So fun fact, most animals refuse to breed in captivity. It's a serious problem. Like in zoos, we will put a male and a female together, but it's so depressing to be locked up in a cage. You wouldn't want to actually bring children of your species into that environment. So we'll go
Yeah,
through
the
like
Telosians seem like cool people. They're probably chill.
Yeah.
We'll go-
yeah.
we'll go through 100 pandas or 100 turtles or whatever we're doing before we find like one couple that like successfully breeds.
That was a sudden drop in film quality, so obviously the remaster couldn't find the original film for that.
Well, they do
Yeah.
that every time they're transitioning from
I
the
suppose.
cage to the menagerie.
Yeah,
Whenever they're zooming out of the screen, they drop the film quality a lot.
because now
Mm.
we're now seeing a screen on a screen,
Right. They're filming the projection.
so it's supposed to look shittier. Yeah.
Oh, very clever. Thank you, Robo.
In universe, are they using a projector, or is this supposed to be like a big TV?
I think it's I think it's like rear
In
projection.
universe.
I
I
think in
think we
universe
have
is a screen.
screens. We have
I
screens.
think universe is a screen,
universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, a nourishing protein complex.
Just like Mama used to make.
I mean, I was planning to make tacos directly after the stream, but I mean, if I could get a nourishing protein complex, that'd be awesome.
I agree.
I mean, that would make things a lot simpler. Wouldn't have to cook anymore. Just
I mean, there are companies that send you
Yeah, you
such a
can buy
thing.
Soylent.
Yeah,
Y-
that
If you
that is the fetch.
if you drink your food though, your digestive system is not going to handle that.
So, are we sure Captain Pike wants to go live with the Telosians?
why did he dip his hands in the oatmeal?
Is he talking about heaven and hell and religion?
Yeah, the fable.
That's a fable.
Yep.
It's a little offensive.
Well, welcome to the future.
Yeah.
The religion in the future is confusing because the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, has a Christian chapel on board, but then
Mhm.
also everyone's also atheists, and then in TNG
Mhm.
it kind of goes back and forth.
Mhm.
Best just not to think about it.
Yeah. I think it's like not even worth mentioning in the future.
And then Captain Kirk one time says, like, oh, we don't need multiple gods, the one is quite sufficient. So Captain Kirk
Is a
sometimes is
monotheist.
religious.
Monotheistic at least.
Captain Pike, why do you only refer to her as the girl? How come you never say her name?
Yeah.
I'm still very confused about what the Telosians want. But I guess we're supposed to be, because it's...
People's not enough to build a population.
They could have just gotten
Yeah.
monkeys and made the monkeys do all the cement building or whatever is going on.
I
You
find
know,
humans interesting for some reason.
according to an old Earth fable, 2 humans is enough to create an entire species.
Yeah.
Sure. Although it reminds me of there was a scandal when coconut oil from Costco was found to be outsourced. There was a Filipino company that was using monkeys as slave labor. So I don't
Yeah.
endorse the use of monkeys as slave labor because it is pretty messed up to force monkeys to pick your coconuts.
Indeed. Well, really, you can pay them.
Did you see the shuttle pod episode where they're talking about how they had a horse on set and it pooped and they called the property department to come clean it up? The guy stood there with a broom and a dustpan and he wouldn't touch it. And he's like, "What are you waiting for?" He's like, "Till it stops steaming and special effects."
Okay.
Very rigid divisions of labor because of the unions and the guilds.
Oh, a double title drop. Wow. That's impressive, show.
Yeah.
But why would a prop department or special effects department, Surely there's like a cleaning department.
Yeah. I guess the props people have nothing to do all day, like once they build the prop or whatever.
They gotta manage the props to make sure everything's there. Make sure everyone gets the right
And
prop.
horse poop is like big. Like I don't think it fits in a dustpan.
Who cleans up horse poop with a broom?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that work?
You need a shovel, really.
You know the kind of dustpans that they use that
Oh, okay.
a big container and you lift it up,
custodial.
it like tips up. Yeah.
Yeah, the custodial ones. Yeah.
Well, what is
You
the broom for?
You scoot the poop into the dustpan and then you take it out.
The broom would be pretty messy.
Look, I didn't say that it was the right tool for
No,
the job.
you need to explain.
What?
You painted
What
such a vivid,
described?
a steaming pile of horse manure. So we're thinking about the scene you painted for us.
It depends if the horse was eating oats or straw. Consistency, how easy it would be to clean up.
So he does love his horse, though. Tango, that's the horse's name. To be honest with you, I'm against zoos. Like I know they're pretty great for kids, and the Bronx Zoo here in New York does do scientific stuff, like to fight diseases in the wild for endangered species. But it is kind of cruel to just put a creature in a cage for amusement.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh, I have bad feelings about
So
this.
it's established here that no human male can resist an Orion female.
Dean.
I mean, earlier they referred to Orions as animal women
Yeah,
slaves,
yeah.
which I was expecting, given that description, to look more like an animal. That's just a lady. That's clearly
Mhm.
just a woman painted green.
Yeah, no, but like feral and sexual in that sense.
All this makes me think of is like bed sheets covered in green handprints and smears and all the body paint.
Animals are seductive?
I mean, you don't see that dance right
I mean,
there?
have you seen koalas?
I mean, animals do
There's
seduce others of
chocolate.
their own species with dances and things, but like to describe an animal as seductive is a bit of an interesting choice of
Look,
words.
it's the John Oliver strategy. You go, look, that if I were a horse, that's a very attractive horse. I'm not saying I would be into that horse, but if I were a horse, I would be into that horse.
No, it is kind of funny though. Like there's in Arab countries, they love Arabian horses, so they do judge the beauty of a horse. Same way we do like dog shows for beauty of a dog.
Is
Yeah, so
she
it's
an
all weird.
animal woman because she was wearing like a spiked outfit?
Yeah, it's more like a loincloth than.
It's like a crocodile bodysuit.
So we're not against slavery in this future.
No, we established that earlier in Mud's Women.
Okay. Yeah, when they're cargo. And nobody bats an eye, referring to 3 women as cargo.
Yep,
It's like
they're fine with that.
human trafficking is not a thing in the future.
I mean, Card did it.
Yeah, only one time though.
That was one
Archer
episode.
did it.
That was one time, and I get blamed for it.
Wait, when did Archer do human trafficking?
Remember that princess that was in the tube?
Oh, he didn't know it was a person in the tube. He thought it was long-term, actual, legit transport.
Yeah.
He returned her
Like
once
in
he figured
Firefly,
out
they
that.
put River Tam in the box.
Mysterious boxes always have people in them. They're about that size.
You know, the Green Women is kind of what like Star Trek became famous for, and like people have no idea. Like I have zero interest in Green Women or my
What's wrong with green women?
my fandom does not revolve around this Orion sex slave concept at all.
Ah, yes, of course. Just the two women.
To transport two people at once? Oh, never mind. Just the ladies went.
So you get the one that's as boring as a piece of paper, or you get the one that's too young.
No, they left Spock behind.
No, she's supposed to be the.
I don't know how they. I don't know how I feel about her bangs on the redhead.
And this one's from like Little House on the Prairie over here, Heidi.
Kurt? No, not Kurt. What's your name? Pike?
Pike.
Come on. You don't just rip open the lady's jacket to take the gun. Just ask her for the gun.
This is in a more evolved time, Ryan, they'd have no problem with what he just did. He would
In
have
the
done that.
future, people don't ask questions.
They just grab from your person. Something really interesting. So when they open up their communicators and they talk, it's so normal to us now to talk using satellites. But back then it was like, oh, imagine that.
Like, why did we
So
put the guns down? Can we shoot our way out?
no, they were disabled once they beamed down, or
Could we
they
use them as a bludgeon?
Adult crewman.
The fact that there's a second cage really makes me think this is a redressed actual building.
Yeah.
Because why would they have two cages? Why would they bother building a second one?
Now have a selection. Why not all three?
This is so weird.
It's
This-
also not strictly true. Intelligence isn't strictly genetics.
right.
Wow.
Oh, the kidnapping's fine because she's secretly into it. Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I'm picking
Yeah.
Yeoman.
This is Sigmund Freud over here. Everything's boiled down to some kind of sexual impulse. Like, there's a death instinct, which is why people smoke cigarettes, according to Freud.
Star Trek predicted Trump.
Are you bringing politics into Star Trek? Wrong
gotta say-
thinking will have you quickly muted.
Yeah.
I love the Telosians because they're so big brained, and they did a really good job of making the brain move too. But they're also like really delicate, like violence.
They're not just huge brains, they're huge jerks.
They're huge
Yeah.
snowflakes. They're like, don't think about choking me. That's so violent.
They just beam them out of there.
Yes, Pike, kill him. Kill him now.
They're
He's
so
gonna make you think he's
helpless.
not there anymore. Just keep choking.
No, he's gonna be a big bear.
He's gonna pretend to disappear. Don't believe it.
I mean, they could just bring the fire back. That'll make him let go. There's no reason for them to go into the prisoner's cell like that.
There's a fairly good
Use-
transition, so let's try and get the guns.
Just beamed it out. Beamed the guns out. Why'd they even allow the guns to be beamed down?
No, snap his neck.
So they just thought Pike was cute because they could have picked anybody.
Well, Captain, I mean, are you sure? Because they have been torturing you. They're not great.
Yeah, I mean they put you in hell because they knew that was the worst and most painful concept you'd
Also,
have in your head.
okay, I was gonna call out Pike for actually believing that the phasers don't work, but no, he figured it out. He's good.
Yes.
Are you breaking up, Rob? Or just
Nice.
Maybe it's just an illusion of a hole in the glass.
the
Worth trying.
Dun, dun, dun.
And are we done with illusions now? Are we done with the cage?
No, there's a little bit more, I think.
They've cut the commercial.
Okay, how many moments, Mr. Spock?
Well, a moment is a minute and a half, so they haven't had that yet.
Who defined that?
I don't
What do you
know if
mean
I
a
believe
moment
that.
is a minute and a half? I would think of a moment as like 3 seconds. Spock? Oh, I know what's happening. They're padding the runtime. Well, hang on. All right, cool. We can execute Spock. I don't worry about it, though. Even if we have to execute Spock, he's got a history of coming back to life. It's not really a big deal. So, how's the dog?
Be a good dog.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Be a good dog.
Yes, it is true that the
trying to
characters in
say-
this show
I was trying
are
to say
doing
that
the same
Spock
thing
doesn't
we
have a
are.
history yet. History is coming back to life.
We have successfully
Gotta go.
achieved
See ya.
a Star Trek watch along of a Star Trek watch along. You didn't win. We planned this the whole time.
Definitely planned.
Yes, shoot him. I say him. I'm pretty sure that actor's actually a woman. I think I read that they cast all women for the Telosians.
I feel like they mixed
Hmm.
their voice, like made it both male and female.
Yeah, they redubbed.
Yeah.
Shoot her. Do it, Pike. Or number one, shoot him.
Oh, they do something great here that they only do one other time. They overload the phaser.
Yeah.
Well, we just did it in the Corbomite maneuver.
Well, no need to be rude about it,
He
Pike.
is so much of a jerk. Savina.
Yeah.
Has he called her by her name once?
No. She's great. You can't. Let me stop right there. You
Oh, they
shouldn't
broke off
bring
the top of the elevator. It's so
you shouldn't
mean.
bring children into the world as slaves.
Assimilate? Why would you use that word?
Yeah.
The head's moving.
Yep.
It is weird.
Big brain.
It's the
It's a good
veins
effect.
bulging. Unique? I mean, I suppose we have lots of animals in zoos which don't seem to mind.
Or at least they can't express it in ways we understand, so it's all good. Or is that just what they want you to think?
Pike never left Talos 4.
All of Star Trek is just an illusion on Talos 4.
This is a weird line. Like, they expect him to feel bad that he can't be the progenitor of their slave race.
Like, the Telosians are still going extinct anyway. Even if they make a race of humans here, they're not going to be the same species. That's not how that works. Or did they just make you think you have transporter control?
This is actually really
The
sad.
Talosians do actually physically control the ship, not just through people's actions, but physically control it seems.
Who's it going to be? Oh, it's Random Yeoman. Yep. She doesn't matter to the story anymore.
One at a time.
Pike's not allowed to leave yet because he still has to see the burned lady.
Yep.
Oh, not actually a crossfade. They're actually changing effect as we're looking. Wow. They went full King Theoden with that. So is the only reason she can't leave because she would be ugly, or will she actually die if she leaves? Because it definitely feels like the reason she's stranded on this barren world is because she's worried she'll be ugly.
Yeah, that seems to be what they're saying. Everything works.
Yeah.
The worst possible fate a woman can endure. I mean, maybe she's like usually physically in a lot of pain, like Captain Pike is completely disabled, and they just
Yeah,
sort of
probably.
suppress it. But they didn't say that.
Mr. Spock, this still doesn't explain why Pike would want to go back to the planet.
See, because now he's ugly. and they'll give him his beauty back and his luscious hair.
Hyperdrive.
I can't use that word, that's a Star Wars word. Do we get one more
End
shot
of
of the
episode.
Telosians? I feel like we need a voice call from the Telosians. And this is why there's never been any record of a mutiny, because it was all a dream. There was never a court-martial. There was... Well, there was still a mutiny, but there was never a court-martial, so there's no record of a mutiny. Okay, bye. They definitely cross-faded that over the...
So wait, how did they find out about Pike's condition to
Don't
make
worry
this little
about
arrangement? Okay.
Spock had to have communicated with them somehow.
Spock went over in a warp-capable shuttle. I mean, he's been there a few times.
Wait, Starbase 11 has the authority to say that, not Starfleet itself?
Well, it sounds like they're relaying a decision from Starbase.
No, that was signed by
Starfleet.
Or is that just
Mendes.
what the Telosians want them to think? Also important to note, for me, this means Captain Pike will not be getting any promotions in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
Oh, he's fleet
True.
captain.
For one episode, it was a temporary role.
No, he is determined as fleet captain at the start of the Menagerie.
right, but it was briefly fleet captain so that maintain
No,
consistency
what I mean
with
is the
Kurt's
Commodore
line.
refers to him as fleet captain even in this state.
Did he? I only remember Captain Kirk saying something like, I met him once when he had just become fleet captain. I don't remember the Commodore
Right.
saying it.
No, the Commodore did say this is
Okay.
fleet captain Pike or something like that. And now we get shown the end of the Menagerie where the Taser rather, where in the episode the fake Pike goes down with her.
Oh, right. They created an illusion of Pike just so Vina wouldn't be lonely.
Yeah.
Which has got to be really awkward for her because she knows she's talking to one of her captors. I was wondering where that shot was from because, yeah, I had no memory of that. Okay, could you stop putting credits over people's faces, though, show? You do this all the time. All right. So that's Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the prequel, or sequel, depending on which part you're talking about. And the stream's over. You can go back to your Baldur's Gate. I'm also going to go back to Baldur's Gate.
Good game.
There's definitely some jank. especially in how combat works. When it happens a lot for me, where I currently have a save where I'm trying to overcome this, where you're entering a battle with one member of your party, and the others aren't technically engaged, and it's really awkward to get them in.
Weird.
They're too far away to roll initiative. I don't know. It's weird.
That's unfortunate.
But anyway, tacos, then Baldur's Gate for me, and then Baldur's Gate for Gyrinx, and then Baldur's Gate for Soma.
I will get it possibly when I get paid.
Okay. Money's good.
Money is good.
This is the future. Anyway, the stream's over. Everyone go away.